Now, this is a much debate. I was thinking about this one upstairs. Halfbacks, running backs, kind of a position that has fallen off in recent years. People now it's like a running back by committee. You have to have a running back that's a power guy. You have to have a running back that's a this. Outside of like Nick Chubb, outside of like
Derrick Henry,
Jonathan
Taylor.
Jonathan
Taylor. They have Naheem Hines for passing plays.
Yeah, so now it's like even your best player outside Derrick Henry's the only true guy.
Yeah,
like that is just like he's there every down,
3 down back.
He's there every single solitary time, and he runs away from everyone. So not enough to be on the greatest of all time yet, right? But we'll see where his career goes. But halfbacks, as always, Pop start us off.
Oh, I got the halfbacks.
Yep.
Okay, let me see who I got. I've got Jim Brown.
Oof.
Okay,
must have.
Jim Brown, I think he only played 8 years. I'll say, but I was watching Jim Brown. I was listening to Jim Brown one time, and he said, "You see these players that run out of bounds?" He had a couple of street names for these players that ran out of bounds. He said, "We don't do that sort of thing." I said, "You're running down the sideline. You stay on the sideline. You cut inside when they want to push you out. You get that extra yard." This guy, and I use this a lot, leaving it all on the field, and I hear that. This man did that for 8 years. Mm-hmm. This man ran against the defenses that were out to hurt people. He ran against defenses that fought people hand-to-hand in combat in Germany and Japan and Okinawa during the Second World War, where people were shooting at you, wanting to kill you. Now they're on a football field, and some clown's paying me to do this, and all I got to do is get this running back. Well, this is the spirit and this is the attitude that many defenses had at that time. It's where you have your Gino Marchettis and Chuck Bednareks and Ray Niskis, and I can go on and on, Joe Schmidt, and on with these people, Alex Karras. These people are next to nuts on the football field. Mm-hmm. That's why you don't see a lot of defensive highlights from back in the days of yore. After the Second World War in the late 40s, 50s, and 60s, when these people were still playing football. Before the face mask. When the face mask came out, that was a handle used to tackle somebody. The horse collar was just, tripping was okay. Clotheslining was okay. High-low, that was okay. Somebody breaks their leg, too bad, now don't get on the field. This is what Jim Brown had the pleasure of running through. And this man did this for, 15,000 yards in 8 years. And I got to hand it to this guy. He even said that his words, the person I did not like to be tackled by was Chuck Bednarik when we played the Philadelphia Eagles. And Chuck Bednarik said, "I enjoyed that very much, Jim." And people, and this is how the game was played. There was blood on the field. There was blood on the uniforms after the game. So Jim Brown's got my nod here. It's just after all these safety rules came out and all the other people came into play.
I remember watching like an NFL Films introduction, right? And it was like NFL Films, and they're doing like this real big cinematic thing. And like the last like 4 clips, it's like Peyton Manning, and then all the guys are running up to the line, and it's like all cinematic. And then like the last 3 is like 1950s clotheslines. Guys like he tackled some guy, the guy gets up, and they're like doing a dance over top of him, right? And the guy's like on the ground, like unconscious,
literally like dead.
And they're like, yeah, they're like giving him high fives, and he like broke this guy's neck, right? It was so funny. I was like, damn, the last like 4 clips, like you borderline arrested, like borderline arrested. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool, but yeah, gotta give it to Jim Brown.
That's what Jim Brown had to run through. So, yeah, Jim's my number one guy. Okay, second is Barry Sanders. Okay, and the only reason he gave it up because he felt, in his own words, that Detroit didn't want to win a championship, and that's what he was there for. He didn't want to break. Who else was that? I'm looking for a word here. Sweetness. What's his name?
Walter Payton.
Okay, he didn't want to break Walter Payton's record, and he would have if Detroit wanted to win a championship.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to move. He didn't want to go to another team. He wanted to retire a Detroit Lion. And so he just gave it up for that reason. And then my third pick is Earl Campbell. I love watching this guy play. The Skull brother. And when he was doing and he just, he was a tank. He was a battering ram with a lot of speed. He could go outside, and he was a huge man. He was like 260 pounds. And used to advertise him by advertising his size. And no other football player that I know that I've seen, their headline was their size. That was on TV. Whose thighs are these? And everybody knew they were Earl Campbell's. So, and he could run. Very, very difficult to bring down. He's my battering ram. So that's my that's my top three. Upstairs, we were Zach and I were talking about the top 10 running backs of all time.
Oh yeah,
and of course,
just for rushing yards all time.
And rushing yards all time. And you got people like Frank Gore, and Curtis Martin, number 28, and Frank is retired. Right. And now, let's see.
I mean, Emmitt Smith, far and away, number one
in
rushing yards.
Right. Emmitt Smith is number one.
AP.
I don't have him as my number one because of the three games he held out when he was with the Cowboys for what? More money. And put him over the barrel for more money. This is where we'll get into this a little better when we talk about team loyalty.
Yeah.
Well, what did the other players think when this guy signed? But they went on to win another Super Bowl. And even Troy Aikman said, when Emmitt Smith came back, we won that ball. We were not the team we were under Barry Switzer. Mm-hmm. We were a much better team. Well, they were all together under Jimmy Johnson. Okay? And if Jerry Jones would have left the man alone, they would have won 5 bowls. And this is, I can agree with that. They had the team, the loyalty of the team together, just like San Francisco did, just like the Steelers did, just like the Browns did, just like the old Colts did, and just like the Eagles post-war, they all stayed together. And the Lions of the 50s and middle 50s, they stayed together, and they played with each other, for each other, and they won those championships.
Yeah.
It's something that we don't really see today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so they're my running backs.
All right. Sounds good.
So that brings me to my list. I actually have Jim Brown listed as a fullback for me.
Oh, really?
Starting fullback, yeah. Because that was kind of the era that he played in was run.
He was so
and,
big.
Yeah, you're going to take it up the defensive tackle's throat and, just punch it up the gut, basically. And if there's a guy to do that, it's either him or Earl Campbell. Yeah. I mean, one of the two, you can't go wrong. So I have him listed at fullback. My starting halfback, now hear me out, like in his prime, no off-the-field stuff.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson.
Beast.
No doubt.
He's one of my favorite ever.
Insane. On those Vikings teams, right? On those Vikings teams, like 2010s, like late 2000s, that kind of thing. No Moss. I can't even name their quarterback, honestly. I mean, Favre, a little bit of Favre, maybe.
Was he with AP?
I don't think he was with AP, though. Like, the defense knew that Adrian Peterson was getting the ball 30 times a game. Mm-hmm. And you know what he still averaged? 6.5 yards a carry. What? Okay, that is unheard of. Derrick Henry just rushed for 2,000 yards. He averaged 5 a carry, and that was far and away the best in the league for any starting running back.
Mm-hmm.
AP averaged 6.5. You gave this man the ball twice, and he got a first down. That does not happen. And the defense knew. They knew what was happening because, they weren't going to throw to, whoever, But, Adrian Peterson definitely – it's so tough for running backs because, my other running back is Barry Sanders, and it's like would I start AP over Barry Sanders, like, if I had them both, like, right here? Probably not. But, like, if I'm getting AP in his prime days, there's a really good argument that I do. Mm-hmm. It's just Barry Sanders has everything, like, that you could want. Dude would have 20,000 rushing yards if he actually played a full career.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Barry Sanders, AP, really can't go wrong.
Yeah, like AP, Adrian Peterson was in his prime, tore his ACL, and everyone still thought it was like a death sentence. It was like you tore your ACL, people were like, oh. You know what I mean? Or like when
throw the career out the window.
It was done. It was like a pitcher when they get the Tommy John surgery, when they tear that little ligament in their elbow. You're like, oh, he's done. You know, like he can never do it again. He came back, and then he was still prime Adrian Peterson.
Yeah,
like it was unheard of. Like nobody ever did that. Nobody ever tore their ACL, came back, and had a better season than their previous seasons after like a severe injury like that. Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. Adrian Peterson was like nuts.
Is that dude?
Yeah.
For my dad's list, Barry Sanders, running back 1. He has Earl Campbell also on his first team. I don't know if he wants to run a 2 running back system or if he wants him at fullback. But then also for his third running back, he has Walter Payton.
Oof, sweetness.
So
sweetness.
Can't go wrong literally with anything.
Yeah.
So
I kind of scribbled in Jim Brown on mine, but that's not part of my original one, right? But you convinced me how to do it. But my starter was Eric Dickerson, just because Eric Dickerson was built like Derrick Henry. He was just 6'4", 240 pounds, 50 pounds, and he was just a glider. Like he would get into the open field and
you wouldn't catch him.
Yeah, he would get into the open field, and then guys are running with him, and they're taking like 4 or 5 strides, and he's taking like 3, right?
Yes.
And then they're like running, and then they have like the angle on him. They're running like this, and then he just glides past them, and then the guy's like he like pulls his hamstring, he's like right, and he like hurts himself trying to catch this guy, and he doesn't look like he's putting a piece of effort into it. He's just gliding, and it looks so effortless for him. You know, and so to me, I would say Eric Dickerson's my starter. Emmitt Smith is my second. Reason being, but like I think Emmitt Smith was great in like short yardage situations. Like he reminds me of like because he wasn't a big guy.
No,
like he was like 5'9",
something like that,
5'8", 5'9". So he was like he wasn't like a scat back, but he just knew how to not get touched. He just knew how to move, how to like work his blocks. He knew leverage. He knew like, okay, I can run behind this guy because he's blocking someone that's like 6'2", and I can sort of just wiggle in where he's not going to be able to get his arm out and get to me. I could just kind of duck underneath his arm.
It's like Le'Veon Bell kind of on the Steelers. Not now Le'Veon Bell, but you know.
Yeah, now Le'Veon Bell, well, he's a free agent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Emmitt Smith is my number 2 just because he was so like if I was in Super Bowl tie game and I was on the 5-yard line and I needed someone to get 5 yards, who would I put in? I'd put in Emmitt Smith. And the reason I'd do that is just because all the stuff I mentioned. He can just find yardage. So that's number 2, and then last one's Barry Sanders. Biggest home run hitter. He's like the Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, whatever you want to say, of like you just give him the ball and then next thing you know he's in the end zone.
Yeah.
You know, so he just gets out into space. And then I asterisk next to Jim Brown because I got convinced. I got I'm flip flopping, right? So you can convince me. I'll probably write a couple more down.
Pretty good flip flop.
Yeah, flip flopped. Yeah. So to me, it's either Barry Sanders, Jim Brown, flip flopped in between.
Actually, I had an honorable mention here that
good.
I thought would get listed but did not. So you mentioned Eric Dickerson, but I actually said Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk, receiver that played running back, basically.
Yeah.
Dude's all-purpose yards, almost untouched. And then he's also top 15 in rushing yards. Like, what?
He was great. I remember the first time I ever saw Marshall Faulk, I was at a Target, right? And you know, like in the back of Target, they have all the TVs. And I was with my mom, and we were just kind of like walking, and I looked over and I saw like this highlight reel of this Rams player, and he's working up, looks like a post. He's working up a post, and he gets the ball. The ball hits him in the shoulder pad. It goes boop. It goes up in the air, and he hits it with his right hand. And he goes back, and he hits it with his left, and then he just comes down right in front of him, and he grabs it, and he pulls it in. That was the first like bobbling. Literally, the ball just goes boop, and it goes in the air off of his shoulder pad and flies up into the air. And he had like the control to find it, wearing a helmet, and not even like the nice helmets, like the old school like box helmet where you can't even see anything, and you're trying to like pat it to yourself when you finally get. That was the first time I ever saw. I was like, who the hell is that guy? I was like, who is that? Right, and the dude working there couldn't tell me, so I had to go home and like look through all these different things. I was on like a database, right? That like I swear to God, I took my credit card information because I couldn't find this. It was like the early
Last
days.
4 digits of your social security number.
Yeah, it was like in order to continue, we need your address. I was like, I need to know who this guy is. I just put it in, but yeah, that Marshall Falk was insane.
I think you wore number 28 too, didn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah,
when he was a Ramsey dude.
Yeah.
Marshall Falk. Yeah. All right,
but if it's like 3rd and 15, and I need an all-passing team, Marshall Falk's in.
Yeah, like the Air Coryell, just wheel him out of the backfield and let him eat.
Yeah. Exactly.